Hello and welcome back to BeamNG Drive, and the game had an update a couple of days ago which added some cool new configurations because they partnered with Gambler 500, which is a race sort of thing in America where some people get some cheap cars and make them off-roady and then drive 500 miles in them. And they've added a bunch of weird off-road configs, one of which is this Comet, which looks like a totally normal Comet until I turn it around and it's got a giant wheel at the back. And I think OBS is having some fun times trying to record this amount of foliage. And now I've made the graphics worse so that it performs better. But let's see how well we can do at this. Because what we're doing here is we're just driving this really stupid Comet thing down a muddy road. And this Comet is notorious for doing this because it's got one wheel at the back, and so it's not exactly very stable, and it does want to fall over quite a lot, which is not exactly helpful. Trying to get down. This vehicle is not very good at anything really. It's not as bad as you might think. It's far worse like actual roads where it just grip rolls all the time. Out in the mud, you're not going that fast, so it doesn't fall over quite as much. I say that as it falls over into a like ditch. Okay, maybe try that again, and this time let's not roll it as much. Also, interesting fact, this is the only 3-wheel drive vehicle in the game, because yes, the back wheel is powered. You can set it to be front-wheel drive if you want. You can go in the path selector and you can set it to be front-wheel drive. But unfortunately, you can't make it rear-wheel drive, which is very disappointing because I want to have a vehicle powered by the giant wheel at the back, because that would be funny. Made it around that corner just about. Now I have to not fall off this cliff. Then this bit's fairly straight, and then the puddle, which fills the camera with water. Then another one. The big tractor tyre really helping us get through the water. This thing is surprisingly capable off-road, other than the fact that it falls over literally all the time. But also, kind of surprisingly, this is not the most unstable thing. Well, I say that. It probably is, just about. But there is also another vehicle in this update which is terribly unstable, which is the little Piccolina. They managed to make the Piccolina incredibly unstable somehow. But we got 2 stars for that attempt. In case you hadn't noticed, I'm not doing a particularly thorough coverage of the update because other people have already done that and done it better than I could have done. But this is another little race that we've got here. This one is actually opponents. I am driving the new Lansdale, which is a van. Well, it's a minivan. Next to us here is the terrible Piccolina. As you can tell from the launch that they got, it is very slow. It is also probably going to fall over because it's also very unstable, and it is the most understeery thing I have driven in this game in a very long time. However, up ahead are some far more interesting things, as we just aerial attack that, it's fine. And then we get rear-ended by it. Thank you very much. Up ahead is my favourite thing they added, which is the, what is it? It's a 6x4 bolide. So, bolide, but there is 4 wheels on the back, and you have got caught on a rock. Good job, guys. Next to us here is also in front of us on the left here, that I'm currently pit maneuvering, is the crocodile Wendover. Because why not have a Wendover that looks like a crocodile? And as you can see here, this is the bolide. It is also mostly made of shiny metal for reasons. This is the worst race that I've had in this game in a while. What is even going on? Well, I think it would help if I stopped pushing them, but I don't want to do that. So we're just gonna push and hopefully work out. If we let you go, you're going to zoom off. And then we can just perform a quick overtake around the outside because the AI just isn't very fast. We can just then floor it down here. As long as we don't hit those rocks, we're going to win this race because the AI is dumb. But yes, this van is new entirely, and this is all very cool. Here it is, solely at Lansdale. There's Gambler config, then there's a couple of Derby configs, various other things, some race, drag, all sorts of configs for you, and I'm sure people will mod in plenty more. We now go to Small Island with the Crazy Bowline for some driving. And as you can see, this thing is four-wheel drive. Well, if you're watching on a computer, you can probably see. If you're not, I mean, if you're watching on TV, you'll be fine. But if you're watching on a phone screen, good luck seeing any detail. In the bottom right-hand corner of my screen, there is a little range box thing. It says H4 because this thing is four-wheel drive. Just that's the back four. Unfortunately, it's not six-wheel drive, which would be cool, but that is not a thing. Again, I'm sure someone will mod it though. If we wanted to, we could put it into low 4, but you can't make it two-wheel drive. Not sure why you would want to, but you can't. It is also automatic, because a lot of these are automatic for some reason, and they don't seem to have particularly good diffs. Come on, get into reverse. See, look, the stupid diff has just got stuck. If you stick it in low, that kind of works. Ooh, there we go. Thing does not handle particularly well. Oh, that was it. Okay. Although we got to do that in 41 seconds. Yeah, let's have a few tries at this. I have a feeling me having to stop and reverse probably didn't help. Up the hill, don't crash into the orange things. Oh, it's sliding. Why is it sliding? Got the 6 wheel to the back. How can it oversteer? Also understeers. Okay, so does both. Now, not hit those rocks. Stick it low now. And then floor it and hope. That'll work. What time are we on? Oh, I did 47. Oh, I want to get the 3 stars. Okay, I got 2 stars, and I can't be bothered to do it again. So we'll go and do something else. We now have a nice little timed race on Utah with the crocodile run over, because this thing's kind of funny. I don't know how good it is. I haven't really driven it, but it's kind of funny, so that's cool. I now know how good it is. It isn't. Very slow. It's dealing with the bumps adequately. And how do we deal with the water? This thing is very slow. That does seem to be a theme with all the gambler vehicles. They are very slow. They're not, like, incredibly slow, but, like, for a racing vehicle, you would expect to have a little more performance. Oh, and yeah, all the stuff on the roofs of them, that just falls off. Like, it is loose. Which seems kind of silly. Like, surely you tie it down. But I guess not. Oh, we've damaged the oil pan. That's wonderful. Where do we even go? I can't see. It's can't running. Can we do like an epic handbrake turn? It wasn't very epic. We don't really have the power for any kind of cool stunts. Oh, that was a rock there. Back past where we crashed last time. This time, not crashing. Have to go. What is it? 4 more checkpoints? Okay. It's a bit of that makes it a big surface race. Because this bit's tarmac rather than dirt. Oh, and there's just a nice little slalom for us to deal with. Not too much of a problem. Oh, they also added new tyre screeching sound effects, which you may be able to hear occasionally. You can't really hear when you're accelerating. When you're braking, it's very noticeable. I'll try and lock up my brakes just for you as we go over here, because clearly that's the only reason I would do that. Oh, we have ABS, so I can't even do that. I wanted to show off the new sound effects. And onto the second lap. You know, do the third lap again, but with less engine oil, because it has been slowly leaking out since they broke the oil pan going for that little jump, because this thing has a terrible oil pan. Surely for an off-roader, you put a better oil pan in it. been a minor slide into a wall. I'm sure it's fine. We've only broken one tyre. Oh, this is where the track goes, definitely. It pulls to the left a bit now because of the broken tyre. This is me not turning at all. This is how we turn. Just as default now. Hopefully I can still finish the race. It handles wonkily. Oh, you can hear some of the lovely tyre screeching. Oh, that's what's wrong with the wheel. It's at a like 45-degree angle. No wonder it pulls to the left. And there we go. Oh, and I got... How did I get 3 stars after literally breaking the wheel halfway around it? They've also added some collection missions. This is one of them. Oh, and we're using this pile of junk. Let's just drive over here because I can see it. Get that. This thing is actually worse on roads than it is out here on the dirt. It still doesn't want to turn very much because it's got tiny wheels at the front. Look at those front wheels. Look how tiny and useless these front wheels are. And we just have to drive across the open deserts, I guess. This thing does want to fall over quite a lot, which is also fairly normal for this thing. It feels much quicker when you're bouncing around on the dirt out here than it does on a road where it feels very slow. Or if you just put it next to anything else, it would just seem terribly slow, because it is. On the dirt and you're bouncing around, you don't need to go very fast. Oh no, I have an accident. Fortunately, we get to repair one time. Although technically I have a competitive scenario which is off, so I could recover infinite times. Wait, no, that was recovering. Never mind, I cheated. It's fine. You're allowed to recover one time, right? Oh, that just resets me to the last... Oh my god, that's cool. That's new. Normally it just puts you back where you started. Oh, and this thing, of course, being an old Piccolina, it has no rev limiter, because why would you need a rev limiter? It's not like that really helps with not breaking the car or anything. We have a minute left to collect some more of these. One over there, there's a lot of like shrubbery in the way, so I'm just going to go and get the one over here instead. Oh, that was a jump! Oh, wow, we landed it. And was completely fine. Made a surprise for that. And that's a problem. Oh yeah, I may have forgotten to mention this thing has a bathtub at the front for reasons, I guess. There's one over here that I'm definitely not going to have time to get to, so we're just going to drive instead. Oh, we got 10. That's 2 stars. But before I go, I couldn't not mention this, because this is a pigeon with D-series suspension at the back and a portaload, because why not? They also added the portaload as its own prop if you want to use it. Trying to drive this from a normal camera perspective doesn't work because there's something in the way. But you would have thought this might be really unstable, but actually, I mean, yeah, it'll fall over, but like, it didn't fall over now, did it? In a competition between this and the autopilot, you would think this would be far less stable. But actually, look at it. It's not falling over at all. It can bounce over that rock perfectly fine. But it gets a lot of body roll from the large amount of suspension travel it gets. And somehow it manages to not fall over. Not exactly quick, though. It doesn't really go anywhere. Yeah, you look, didn't even fall over. However, the introduction of this D-series suspension does allow you to do a few other things, which is a little more exciting. And using this technology, I have created this. This is an pigeon, but he's an pigeon with very wide wheels at the back. Sure, it only has like 157 horsepower, because that's as much as a pigeon is capable of getting. But it does wheelies, and it does wheelies when you put it in second gear, and then it falls over. if you get it right, you can go into second and you can just like do a continuous wheelie. However, if it starts to slightly fall over, it sort of digs in on one wheel, and then you have a bad time because it will just go flying, and for some reason, it's not wheeling properly anymore. There you go, there's a nice wheelie into a tree. It is still rather fast, especially for a pigeon. And it has the normal pigeon tiny front wheel, but it has these huge drag tyres at the back. And it gets insane body roll, because you can't really customize the suspension at the back very much, so it just does this. However, it gets far more body roll that way than it does this way. If you're turning to the right, it just sort of falls over. If you're turning to the left, it's got a lot of give because that's the way the torque goes. Because it's got torque twist. Because it's so powerful with all of its 110 pound-feet of torque. Just because it weighs so little, it makes a lot of difference. But this thing is surprisingly good to drive. Like, looking at it, you would think this thing would be an absolute nightmare. But this is fun. Nothing to do with the Gambler 500 update. They just enabled me to do this. But anyway, that is going to be it for this video, so thank you for watching. Don't get distracted, go subscribe now. Yay, we're going to fall down a cliff. Anyway, goodbye.